AITA for going to bed early because my partner said my eyes were glazed over after having dinner with my best friend. I called my partner a dickhead after he made a fuss and criticized me for using red wine glasses when I just got home from a dinner with my friends. After I pointed out how minor the issue was, he noticed I looked upset and commented on my glazed eyes. I felt this was hypocritical, given that he had been rude to me after drinking heavily just last weekend. So I, F32, just got home from dinner with my best friend. She came over to my house around 5:45 p.m. that I share with my partner, M37, and we each had 2 glasses of white wine before heading out to a local restaurant for dinner. We headed to dinner around 6:30 p.m. We shared a bottle of white wine, some tacos, arancini balls, and a platter of bread with a trio of dips. I got home at about 8:15 p.m. When I got home, my partner stated that the wine glasses my friend grabbed from the cupboard were red wine glasses, not white wine glasses, and that he's particular about this. Note, I've just started the process of moving in with him, and we've already had a few tiffs that make me feel like this is his home, and I'm just living in it. I said I didn't see what the big deal was. They're just wine glasses, and given it's the first time she's been here, if she'd grabbed coffee mugs and poured the wine in the coffee mugs, what did it matter? Another note, I had gotten a call from my property manager at my apartment that I was ending my lease at, that there was water all over the floor and the floorboards were lifting, and that my boxes of stuff was damaged because of the water. I had just been back there for the first time in 3 days to assess the damage, and I was stressed, which is why she brought wine and made herself at home by immediately pouring us a glass of wine when we got in. Anyway, after being told off about using the wrong wine glasses, to which I said when I had brought my wine glasses we wouldn't use his anymore, he asked me what was wrong and that I looked like I was about to cry. I was obviously annoyed because I felt like he was being irrational, but I definitely wasn't emotional, and I told him no, I wasn't. So he said, "Oh, so your eyes are just that glazed over then?" This really annoyed me because last weekend he went out with his mates for 6 hours and came home absolutely hammered and proceeded to be rude and belittling to me then. So I found it really offensive that he was making comments about my eyes being glazed over. Anyway, I took myself to bed because I think he's being absolutely ridiculous, and he told me I was being a dickhead. So tell me, AITA, update. I did not expect this to get so much traction. I've read most of your comments, and I thank you for validating me. We've discussed it this morning after a bit of an unrestful sleep for us both. Fire alarm went off randomly in the middle of the night. My cat got out. My dachshund was barking at the wind. What's a girl gotta do to sleep around here? So I'll address a few things that were raised about this behavior being a red flag. Yes, he was being ridiculous about the wine glasses. And this morning he acknowledged he understands it was irrational, but it wasn't meant to come across as though he was taking a dig at me. He said he was trying to simply let me know that is how he would like his stuff to be used, which, while I think it is silly, I will respect. I am sensitive to feeling like I'm moving into his home, and he does try to make me feel like it is ours, but it's the first time in 5 years that I will be living with anyone, let alone a so it's quite daunting for me. I also addressed the glazed eyes comment, which is really what got to me, and he admitted it was a poor choice of words, and that he didn't mean for it to come across as though he was implying anything negative. He accepts that he could have said, "Oh, your eyes just looked watery," or "it looked like you were tearing up," and that he doesn't necessarily attach any negative connotation to the term, and also acknowledges that since I do feel like it carries a negative implication, he will make sure to choose his words more wisely. To everyone saying I shouldn't move in with him or should reassess the relationship, I absolutely appreciate and understand your concerns. But please bear in mind, you've gotten a very small glimpse into our life together. We have been together a long time, and we love and respect each other, even if this one instance looks like we don't. We are continually learning how to improve our communication, since we naturally have very different communication styles. He's very direct, and words don't mean much to him. Whereas I'm quite sensitive, and I find the words that you use are very important. So we are always navigating our relationship, making sure we understand one another. We are grown, mature people who have very different backgrounds and life experience, but I fully believe that discussing and approaching conflicts in a manner to try and understand each other's perspectives and make sure we can build a healthy relationship together is super important. I respect everyone's shared experiences, and I'm so sorry to those of you who have had horrible relationships where you've been mistreated. I've definitely been there myself, and if I felt anything like that in this relationship, I would cut and run, like you're all suggesting. Anyway, thank you for all the comments and support. Relevant comments, commenter, NTA, but please consider if this relationship and this move is the best idea right now. You learn a lot about a person by living with them, and if these things have you walking on eggshells in a shared space, it's not healthy. Good luck. Commenter. Exactly. Don't unpack, OP. Move back out. If your friend will host you while you get yourself straight, head back out and drink from the bottle with her. It doesn't have to mean the end of your relationship, just maybe that you both need to work through more of these expectations before throwing everything in together. Commenter. An insecure bully that is desperate to paint OP in the same bad light he cast it on himself. He can't control his drinking, so he accuses OP of drinking too much. He can't control his feelings, so he accuses OP of being overly emotional. He can't control himself, so he tries to control OP. OP should run. Story 2. AITA for playing a role that my girlfriend doesn't approve. I, 30M, have been with my girlfriend, 29, for almost 4 years. From since before we started dating, I've been a part of an acting group, mainly performing small venue comedy theater once a year. We have practice every Tuesday, and after every practice I call my girlfriend to tell her about what we practiced. Why do I do that? Well, that's because she says she doesn't trust them and that she's afraid to lose me. I've agreed to steer away from taking parts that had a kissing scene or anything physical. I even told our director that I won't take any parts that include kissing, even if it's just a peck. For our upcoming show, I'm playing an older gentleman who's married, father of the bride. The play takes part at a wedding. He's a whimsical dude with an eye for someone other than his wife. I let my geary friend read the script because I don't want her to be upset or sad when she comes to watch. In a scene, my character meets a girl that he used to be in love with in his teens. He declares his love and tries to win her over, but she completely brushes him off. He says the words, "I love you," as she storms away. That scene made my girlfriend fall apart crying, saying that she can't stand watching her own boyfriend saying he loves another woman, even if it's in a non-romantic comedic setting. I get it when it comes to kissing, and I have no problem turning down parts that has kissing scenes in them. But saying, "I love you," to a woman 25, 30 years older than me in a comedy play act can't be that bad, can it? I told her I don't know what to do other than quitting, but I really don't want to do that. Am I the asshole for not quitting so she can be happy? Relevant comments. Commenter. NTA, your GF sounds like a baby. Her insecurities need to be managed and are obviously creating a big problem. Drop her and continue with your acting. It's important to you. And if your GF can't be supportive of your hobbies/career/interests, then there's no point. She's guilt-tripping you and making your life difficult by the sounds of things. You deserve better, dude. Commenter. She's being super clingy and overly controlling. It's acting, not real life. You aren't actually in love with the actress. You shouldn't have to give up something you enjoy just because she is ridiculously jealous and she needs to get a grip. I think the real question is, do you really want to be with someone who is so needy and demanding? Needy, OP. I guess being in this relationship for so long has made me blind to how wild this whole situation actually is. Seeing some people even questioning if this is real or not has really opened my eyes. I have been thinking about ending things with her lately, and you've all made me realize that doing so is the right decision. Thank you. Story 3. Am I overreacting to my wife's male friend? To start, my wife, F38, and myself had a child 3.5 years ago, and after the pregnancy, she pretty much stopped showing me affection. Our sex life took a nosedive, and she started to get annoyed with me if I would try to flirt with her. Around the 2-year mark after our son was born, she received a call from an ex-co-worker, Dave, on a night when I was staying at my mother's, and something about it gave me a weird gut feeling. No real reason behind it. I don't have much reason not to trust her, and I told her I changed my mind and I wanted to come home. When I told her this, she became irate and told me she suspects I'm intoxicated and she didn't want me coming home, / Once I got home, she continued to act angry and say hurtful things, / seemed like she was trying to get me to leave. I didn't leave and she went to bed. Now, fast forward 2 months later. I get home from work and she tells me she went to lunch with Dave and he offered her a job at the new restaurant he's a cook at. She accepted the job. I told her right away that I was uncomfortable with it. 'Cause why is this guy that you only worked with for a few months years in the past offering you a waitress job years later when you weren't even a waitress at the job you guys worked together at before? She assured me nothing was sketchy and it was just a good opportunity, and I didn't want to hold her back or be controlling. I don't have much reason not to trust her, at least nothing concrete past a gut feeling. But I asked her to please keep in mind I'm uncomfortable and to make sure it's only professional. Now, skip to 1 week before the job starts. I notice her looking at makeup. We've been together for years and she has never worn makeup, so I thought it was strange. But when she noticed that I noticed, she quickly explained to me it was for her friend's daughter's birthday. Then, a week later, I find the same makeup in her work bag. I didn't tell her I saw it, but I asked, "Are you going to start wearing makeup for the new job?" She responded no, to which I informed her I had found the makeup. Her response was, "That's not makeup, it's lip gloss and eyeliner." Now, I don't mind if she wants to wear makeup, but this felt like deception. Of course, I was called overbearing, paranoid, and crazy. Then her first night. I get a text around 10 o'clock saying, "Just finished, be home in 10 minutes." But I forgot to respond because I was cleaning the baby's mess around the house. Well, she didn't come home for 3 hours. Finally, I FaceTimed her. No answer. and it took about 10 mins for a callback. When she called back, she was still at the restaurant. When I asked why she didn't come home, she said, "I was just chatting with the co-workers." But when she came home, she smelled like liquor. I asked, and she said she took 1 shot of whiskey, so now she's staying after and drinking with the guy I'm uncomfortable with after telling me she will be home in 10 means. I assume since I didn't open the text, she thought I was sleeping. When I told her that made me uncomfortable, she went off about how it's not fair that she can't make friends. I've never told her who she can or can't be friends with, and basically called me crazy. Then I noticed them texting a lot. Nothing bad, just a lot of back and forth. And when I confronted her about how it's disrespectful to text the guy I'm uncomfortable about, she again told me I was crazy and made me out to be a bad guy. Sometime around the 2-month mark of the new job, she asked me to start wearing condoms when we have sex, claiming that she didn't want to get preggo again, but also went and got tested for a UTI, supposedly the same week. Once those results came back, she never asked me to wear the condoms again. It was weird because we've never used condoms, and the timing of all that seemed really strange to me. Then she agreed to babysit this guy's 1-year-old twice. The second time I put my foot down and told her I was done if this shit with this new friend didn't stop. After that, I came home from work one day and found a pair of panties ripped in half in the bathroom garbage can. I feel like something is up. She's never broken my trust before, but the timing and lack of regard for my feelings. Plus, the little dections I've been noticing are adding up, and I'm having trouble believing she's not having an affair. And at this point, it's eating me alive on the inside. I know that none of this means she's cheating by itself, but am I crazy for feeling this way? And is it wrong of me be upset with her? I feel like I'm losing my mind and my family all at once, and IDK what to do. When I ask her about the lack of affection, she says it's because I've relapsed a few times. I was a drug addict when we first met, and have since gotten my life back on track, but I haven't been perfect with it, and I have slipped up a few times. But at this point, I'm not really buying it. The first 2 years she told me that having the baby killed her sex drive, and so I tried to respect that. But then I noticed her vibrator was moved, and although it's none of my business what she does, it seemed like another deception. You told me you don't have sexual urges, and that's why we're not intimate. But if you are masturbating, that's clearly not true. And only switched to the drug excuse after I called her out on that. Am I overreacting with my paranoia, or should I legit be worried? Thanks. I'm advanced for any advice. Relevant comments. Commenter, she had sex with him because why would she ask you to wear a condom and get tested for a UTI, then go back to no condoms? Commenter, well, all the evidence leads to them fucking behind your back, so no, you're not overreacting. Commenter, I'm so sorry, OP, but there's a huge lack of respect on her part. Let's imagine she isn't cheating. She is still doing everything in the book to ignore your boundaries, to then make you feel like you're in the wrong once you express your hurt feelings over the crossed boundaries. This is textbook emotional manipulation. That's not loving behavior towards a life partner. She seems checked out. Try not to blame yourself. Come up with a plan to either make amends as a couple with professional help or consider separating. Do what's best for your mental health and child. BTW. As a child of divorce, our lives got instantly better once my parents separated. I could feel their strain as a child. My mom tried to keep it together for the family, but I wouldn't recommend that approach. I wish you the best, OP. You're going through it, but know you deserve better. Thank you for sticking around until the end. If you liked our videos, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with our latest content. Have a wonderful day.